Albright invaded Schmidt Stadium on Saturday to face Wilkes, seeking its third consecutive win of the season. The Lions needed a big defensive play in overtime, but escaped with a 36-35 victory. Collie Boyce intercepted Ryan Daly on the second play of the game, and Albright got on the board 2 plays later when Patrick Wise connected with Gerard Gaynor from 9 yards out, giving the Lions a 7-0 lead. After a Wilkes 3-and-out, Albright put together a 7-play, 19-yard drive that was capped by a 30-yard field goal from Daniel Sobolewski. It marked the first of a school record-tying 5 field goals on the afternoon for Sobolewski. Albright extended the lead to 13-0 early in the second quarter when Sobolewski connected from 41 yards out. Wise hit Vinnie Williams for 16 yards on 3rd and 20, which put Sobolewski in range for the field goal. The Albright defense helped to produce the next points. The Lions held Wilkes on a 4th and 1 on its own 26-yard line, which set up Sobolewski for a 34-yard field goal to extend the lead to 16-0. On the ensuing kickoff, a short kick by Sobolewski was recovered by Danny Ty to set up Albright on the Wilkes 29-yard line. Wise found Malik Gilmore for 23 yards, and Ty punched it in from 2 yards out, giving Albright a 23-0 halftime lead. Wilkes took advantage of 2 Albright turnovers to get back into the game. Daly capped the 8-play, 50-yard march with a 17-yard touchdown pass to Hartman to trim the Albright lead to 23-7 with 12:28 to play in the third quarter. The Lions then fumbled the ensuing kickoff, and Wilkes recovered at the Albright 38-yard line. Daly scampered in from 2 yards out with 10:43 left in the third quarter to cut the margin to 23-14. Albright answered with a 10-play, 31-yard drive that culminated with a 48-yard field goal from Sobolewski that upped the Lion lead to 26-14 with 6:06 to play in the third. Wilkes got within 1 score of the lead early in the fourth quarter when P.J. Incremona scored on an 8-yard rush with 9:18 to play in the game. Gaynor returned the ensuing kickoff 61 yards to the Wilkes 22-yard line. Sobolewski drilled a 21-yard field goal that increased the lead to 29-21 with 6:40 to play. Wilkes then went on a 13-play, 66-yard scoring drive, capped by Daly finding Hartman from 2 yards out to bring the Colonels to within 29-27 with 2:45 left. Wilkes elected to go for the 2 points in the tie and got it when Jonathan Conklin connected with Tim Boson on a reverse pass to knock the score at 29-29. The Lions appeared poised to win the game at the end of regulation. Albright drove to the Wilkes 28-yard line and lined up for the game-winning field goal, but the field goal attempt by Sobolewski into a stiff wind came up just short, sending the game into overtime. Chris Dawson, who had a team-high 74 yards on the ground, carried the ball 6 times in the drive and capped it with a 3-yard scamper up the middle, giving the Lions a 36-29 lead. Wilkes wasted no time in getting on the board on its possession as the Colonels found the end zone on the second play when Daly connected in a 13-yard pass to Jeremy Hartman for the score. After a Wilkes timeout, Daly rolled to his left and fired across the middle, but linebacker Steve Barroso knocked the pass away, sending the Lions to the victory. Albright returns to action on Saturday, November 8th, when it hosts Misericordia at 1 p.m. at Shirk Stadium in the final regular season home game and senior day.
You know, I mean, and certainly I'm very proud of our guys again for being 1-0 and you know, getting this done in overtime. 2 weeks in a row. My old man heart, I don't know if it can take much more of this, but these guys are certainly testing me to the limits. But I'm extremely proud of them once again for finishing this thing the right way in overtime. It just, again, unfortunately, the mistakes that we made, really is what led to us being in that situation. And we had a 23-0 lead at the half, but the frustrating part of that was that we had to settle for a lot of field goals. I don't know how many field goals we made today, but it felt like it was five field goals today. And, some of those really should have been touchdowns. And it was a drop pass, here and a drop pass there. And then we turned the ball over, on the opening kickoff of the second half. And then we turned the ball over, or actually it was the first offense or second offensive play of the second half. We turned the ball over. Then we turn the ball over on the ensuing kickoff, and we give them back-to-back, touchdowns and give them momentum, get them back into the game. Our defense I thought was lights out in the first half, and then we really started bending, hard in the second half. and gave up a bunch of scores. And then offensively, we were not able to be very efficient in the second half. We had a bunch of 3 and outs, and again, drop passes, and it's just shooting ourselves in the foot time and again. And let them get back into it and tie the game, and then we had a chance to win it in regulation. Lined up for I don't know, was it a 41, 42, 44-yard field goal opportunity that fell? I don't know, from where I was standing, it looked good to me, but apparently it fell just short of the crossbar. Into the wind, and the wind was pretty stiff today, but I felt like we should have been able to make that. And then we go to overtime, and we score, they score, and once again, rather than go for a tie, they decide to go for the win with a 2-point play, and so everything's on the line in one play. And our defense, finally in the second half, they made a play when we needed that play. And so, again, like I said last week, I mean, one of the keys to becoming a good football team is you cannot carry your mistakes around with you in a backpack. Because if you do that, that thing gets heavier and heavier and heavier and weighs you down, and then pretty soon you can't accomplish anything because you're carrying this load on your back. And so the thing that I'm really pleased with this football team is they just let the mistakes roll off their back, and they just go out and try to win the next play. And as I said to the team afterward, that's the makings of what can become a great football team. As young as we are, and as inexperienced as we are at a lot of positions, these mistakes are going to happen. The ability to keep fighting through and trusting each other and staying together and not getting down on yourself or not getting down on each other, that's the makings of what can become a great football team. And I talked to them, today about, this is like our innocent climb, and you got to start somewhere, and you got to, the law of the scoreboard. By John Maxwell, he says that you got to know where you stand to know where you can get to and where you want to go. And right now this is where we stand. We're an inconsistent football team, as you saw today. Some flashes of genius and then some flashes of ugliness. But what I'm most pleased with was that we just fought together, we stayed together, we believed in each other, trusted each other, and we made the plays when we needed to find a way to win at the end. And you and I talked about this at the beginning of the season, but our theme this year is Inveniam Viam, which in Latin translates to I shall find a way. And where it comes from is in Hannibal of Carthage, when he was told by his generals and anyone who had an opinion, when Hannibal said that he was going to invade Italy from the north by crossing the Alps with his entire army in the dead of winter, they said it can't be done, it's impossible, and his response was Inveniam Viam, I shall find a way, and he did it, he got it done. And this is that's kind of the theme of our season, because look, it's not always pretty, but we found a way this week, and last week we found a way, and so we got our guys believing in that, and I think it's starting to click, that when we have an opportunity, to win, we're taking advantage of it, and we're finding different ways to do it. I mean, kicking game, or sometimes it's offense, sometimes it's defense, and somebody's got to step up, and guys stepped up and made plays when we needed them, and that's really the only stat that matters is who finished at the end. And I'm sure that some of these stats are going to look ugly to me today, but the only one that matters is who found a way to win at the end, and I'm proud of our guys for doing that.
Know that you said you don't obviously want to end drives with field goals, but Daniel tied the school record with 5 today.
Wow.
What kind of an advantage is it to have him in your back pocket?
Well, and I said that to the quarterbacks when I met with them after the game. I mean, when you've got a kicker like that, as good as Dan, I mean, you have a lot of confidence, in that. Look, we just got to get close, and we're going to come away with points. And so, I mean, just to even I mean, I had a lot of faith at the end in making a 44-yard field goal into the wind to win the game. It was just that Breeze was just a little bit too stiff for him, I think. But I mean, if we don't have a kicking game, we're probably going for it on 4th down in those situations rather than even attempting field goals. And as inefficient as we were on offense, at times in the game, I'm not sure how confident I was there. I was way more confident that he was going to come away with those points, and he did a great job. I mean, that's tremendous. I mean, and when you have a weapon like that, you got to use it, and we used it a bunch today. I mean, I felt like I was sending them out there, every other play to kick a field goal. And, so that whole unit has really done a great job. And Dan's done a great job, and Ryan Wade is his holder, and Grant Baylor is a long snapper, and our protection. At the beginning of the season, we were spotty with protection, and we had a block or two, early in the season, and we got those things, cleaned up. And to those guys' credit, they really took a lot of pride in that, and that's a great unit right there. It's one of the most reliable units that we have on the field at any one point. So I'm very pleased with that.